It's a fascinating twist in history. Why exactly did Russia decide to sell Alaska to the United States? This question becomes especially intriguing as leaders Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin prepare to meet in Anchorage, Alaska on Friday to discuss ending the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. But here's where it gets controversial. This historic sale between two powerful nations set the stage for events that continue to shape geopolitics today. Ahead of their face-to-face meeting, Trump issued a stern warning during a virtual conference with European leaders and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, signaling severe consequences if Putin resists agreeing to a ceasefire after more than 3 years of war. The venue where these talks will unfold is Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, a sprawling 64,000-acre U.S. military installation located on the outskirts of Alaska's largest city. This base is not just any military site. It stands as Alaska's premier defense outpost, crucial for Arctic defense exercises and readiness strategies. When Trump visited this base back in 2019, during his first presidential term, he referred to the troops stationed there as guardians of America's last frontier, emphasizing their role as the nation's first line of defense in a remote and strategically vital region. But to understand the significance of Alaska today, it helps to revisit its not-so-distant origins when it was still Russian territory, separated from Russia by only about 90 kilometers, 55 miles, across the Bering Strait. In fact, Russia controlled Alaska well before it became part of the United States. The story dates back to 1725, when Russian Tsar Peter the Great sent the Danish explorer Vitus Bering to chart the Alaskan coastline. Russia had strong incentives to explore and claim the area due to its rich natural resources, especially the valuable sea otter pelts that were in high demand globally. By 1799, Emperor Paul I had granted the Russian-American Company exclusive rights over the region, effectively establishing colonial rule through settlements like Sitka. This became the colonial capital after Russian forces decisively defeated the native Tlingit tribe in 1804. However, Russia's ambitions ran into practical hurdles. Alaska was an incredibly remote outpost, far from the imperial capital of St. Petersburg. The environment was harsh, and supply lines were frequently disrupted, making it difficult to sustain large settlements or military forces. Meanwhile, American settlers and traders were expanding westward rapidly. Soon, envoys and explorers from the United States came into contact and sometimes conflict with Russian traders along the Pacific coast. Russia simply did not have the resources or strategic capacity to maintain a strong presence so far from its core territories. This reality came into sharp focus following the Crimean War, 1853 to 1856, which pitted Russia against an alliance of Britain, France, and the Ottoman Empire. The conflict was primarily fought in the Crimean Peninsula and the Black Sea region, areas critical for controlling access to the Mediterranean. Russia's defeat was humiliating and costly. In 19th century currency, it spent the modern-day equivalent of roughly £160 million on the war effort. Facing mounting economic strain and military setbacks, Russia's leadership reassessed their colonial holdings. Alaska, with its diminishing profitability due to overhunting and its close proximity to British-controlled Canada, appeared more liability than asset. Tsar Alexander II saw selling Alaska as both a way to raise desperately needed funds and to block British ambitions in the region. The United States, fueled by manifest destiny and a growing presence on the continent, eagerly agreed to purchase Alaska. In 1867, Secretary of State William Seward finalized the deal for $7.2 million, less than 2 cents per acre, for nearly 1.5 million square kilometers, 600,000 square miles of land. The acquisition secured America's access along the Pacific's northern reaches, but instantly sparked debate at home. Many Americans didn't see the purchase as a smart investment at first. Critics mocked it as Seward's Folly and Seward's icebox, believing Alaska to be a barren, frozen wasteland devoid of practical value. Newspapers, like the New York Daily Tribune, derided the deal as acquiring only impassable deserts of snow and useless trees, questioning why such territory was worth the cost. Yet the discovery of gold in the Klondike region in 1896 changed perceptions drastically. Suddenly, what was once deemed worthless became a treasure trove. Over the years, Alaska's strategic importance grew steadily, ultimately leading to it becoming the 49th U.S. state in January 1959. Economically, Alaska evolved from relying on gold to embracing more diverse industries. Commercial fishing, particularly salmon and halibut harvesting, became a significant pillar, alongside copper mining ventures like those in Kennecott. Then, during World War II, the establishment of military bases accelerated development and population growth. The game changer arrived in 1968 with the discovery of massive oil reserves at Prudhoe Bay, fueling Alaska's economy and funding public services. Oil wealth also supports the Alaska Permanent Fund, a unique program that invests oil revenues into stocks, bonds, real estate, and other assets, distributing annual dividends directly to residents. This innovative approach allows Alaska to maintain the rare distinction of having no state income tax or sales tax, a benefit that continues to resonate with its people. In more recent decades, tourism has skyrocketed, drawing visitors enchanted by Alaska's stunning national parks, glaciers, and wildlife. What was once scoffed at as a costly mistake now thrives as a state rich not just in natural resources, but cultural and ecological treasures. Meanwhile, as history repeats in different ways, Ukrainian President Zelensky and others will be watching closely at Friday's meeting in Alaska, hoping that discussions between Trump and Putin steer clear of Russian incursions into Ukrainian territory. Can the lessons of history, the bargains and sacrifices over land that shaped global power, inform a peaceful resolution today? Or will this meeting reopen old wounds and spark new controversies? What do you think? Was Russia wise to sell Alaska, or was it a tragic loss masked as a strategic retreat? And looking at today's geopolitical chessboard, how do you interpret the symbolism of a summit held on the very land once swapped between great powers? Share your thoughts. This is a conversation worth having.